Hi gardening friends, it's Lark for Tea Time Tuesday tour. Today I'm going to start out in the front yard. Some of you wanted to see the progress of things growing in the front yard, so I'll show you some of the annuals I do have. I don't have a lot of annuals, and I have a lot of come-agains I let reseed. This area here is reseeds. I think every seed came up of this salvia called Blue Victoria, and I don't know how it's going to do because it's so thick with flowers. I did put a time release fertilizer in here, but we'll see. I should have probably pulled a lot of them out, but you know how it is, you gardeners, that sometimes you have a hard time pulling out perennials or flowers. Larkspur is a reseed from many years ago, and also calendula. And I do make infused oils with this calendula. These here I don't use too often because I use synthetic fertilizers or whatever. I don't use worm tea. So I'll use calendula for my infused oils from my veggie garden area. In here, the only ones I planted, seeds I planted, was Mexican sunflower because I want tall orange right there. Catmint's still blooming a little. Needs to be cut back. All this stuff. Dave has his work cut out for him. But he is hiring a young man, Jamie, that's helping him. Lots of cutting back. So next year they bloom nice and full again. Yes, you're taking the flowers off now, and I won't have berries, but I'd rather have a thick flowering bush in spring. That one is 9 bark also, but a different variety. I think it's Rosy Glow, shorter. Doesn't look shorter, does it? But it is. Gold tip junipers, oh nice, very nice. They take a pruning really good. Pruning meaning by Dave or the mice and rabbits and voles. They girdle the trunks underneath there, and then Dave ends up having to take the dead out. But it comes back nice. Love the gold tips on them, especially now when they're just forming. Gold tip juniper. This is a sand cherry, and the Japanese beetles love it as much as we do. He will cut that back too, and take a third, up to a third of the bush out from the bottom all the way to the ground. Wherever there, like there's a thick stem in there, this year he'll probably take out one of them. And it'll look yucky for a while, like it's one-sided or, you know, lopsided, but it will come back and fill in thick. In Wisconsin, a couple years ago, our ewes got hit really hard with freeze out, and we had a severe winter and wet, but they're coming back again. Spireas, gold flame. Nice foliage color all season, from spring to fall. Good investment. All these plantings in the yard, yeah, all of them, are 22 years old. So the maintenance on them that Dave does has kept them healthy so far. Potentellas. Pretty, pretty. He will prune those back after flower a little bit, and then they'll get thicker amount of flowers again for the fall. And I Japanese beetle pick several times during the day. I don't know, I can't see the screen too good. I'm trying to show you. Yep, Japanese beetle. Catmint, that will get cut down too very soon. Around the planting area here where the annuals are, and my blue bachelor buttons will take over. I use annuals and perennials, mostly annuals. The silver is Basket of Gold, Alyssum, perennial, or biannual. I don't know which one. I think it's both. Short-lived perennial, and it reseeds a lot. Then your corabelles and sedums. That's my perennial part of this. And then the marigolds, I started the tall ones back there, and they were a little late in coming, and I didn't. So I went out and bought some, thinking I bought tall ones. Got them home, and they were short. So I ended up putting in the bought ones up front, and just putting in whatever I had in my tall, about 18-inch marigolds, and they're coming, but slow. So I use a lot of perennials here. A lot of this weed this year. This one. Oh, yeah. Let me pull it and show you this with the fuzzies all the way up the stem that are the seeds. And yes, I deadhead all my marigolds. Keeps them blooming thicker and longer. There is some Russian sage in this inner circle, and I prune it back so it blooms later and shorter. Oh, the bees just love catmint. I'm saying probably about another 10 days on this catmint, and it'll get cut down. And then look in the center here. There's new growth coming. So I will have Jamie cut these down to the ground, except for the new growth, and it'll bloom again. After we cut this down, this center will be the focal point with the bachelor buttons. And then I have Mexican sunflower in there too. And you see the twigs? Well, that's holding up these bachelor buttons so they don't flop all over. So my theme around here again is blue and orange. Or some may say purple, but I like thinking it's pretty blue. So I have that all along this sidewalk area here. You can walk totally around it, and both sides should look good. Here in Wisconsin, our growing annual season is so short. So we do all this annual planting, and I do very little. Some people do so much, and it only's for 4 months. Blue carpets. So pretty. The voles and the mice like those too. And they come back good. He just pruned those today. I don't love the globe look. I like more of a free-form look, but he's got to cut them back. And prune after bloom, right after bloom, or you won't get blooms next year. The PG hydrangeas starting to set flowers. Now, I give that tree a lot of my whey from making yogurt, especially in the winter, and I water it probably 1:20 ratio. 1 part yogurt whey and 20 parts water. And last year it looked outstanding. Slow to come. This was supposed to get that, coleus was supposed to get 2 foot. It better start growing fast. Play catch up. And more blue carpets. And this is what I meant. Our yews got a lot of damage, especially this one. But you see the hole in here? But it's coming. The light gets in there, and it'll come back. It's coming back very nicely. I give that one yogurt whey too. Whatever I don't use in cooking or drinking, I give to plants. Okay, I was wrong. He lost a burning bush, and I don't see it coming back. Oh yeah, I do. Maybe a little bit. A little bit right here. See the stub? Or that might not, yeah, that's a stub. But the real thick stub is not coming back. Looks like box elders are coming good, and a pricker. And I don't know what. I can't remember what that is. It's a weed. So burning bushes here. And if I was to landscape with wanting red color like he wanted, I would use blueberries if I was young and doing it over. But I'm not, and I'm not. That is a prairie fire crabapple. Lots of crab apples on there. You'll be pretty very soon. So I'm not going to go around this area, but on all the way around we have catmint and corabels or sedums. Shall we go through the veggie garden? I won't go into too much detail here. Succulents. These came down last year downstairs. The boys brought them down for me. And I never watered them. So consequently, most of it died. The hens and chicks that are in there are perennial. But the flapjack succulent is not. I just bring that in a big pot and then I cut it off and put it in containers. And it comes really nicely. Same with my little wheelbarrow. Can you see how I cut down big plants to the ground? And then I stuck the tops in the ground, and then they're coming from the stem. Oh, and pretty rose quartz. Helps with my heart chakra. Energy. And the scarlet runner bean. Pretty and edible. Repurposing in old parts of our gazebo for the scarlet runner bean to run up. Dill is coming in hot and heavy now, and I have no pickles yet, so I'm just drying it. Calendula from last year's coming up in the asparagus patch, as is comfrey. And then I chop and drop that. I told you that in another video. I chop and drop that comfrey because it's the white, and I want the purple flower one for our oil infusions. So in the other area I got officinalis. Raspberry coming up in the asparagus patch. I need to dig that out and just keep at it and hope that the raspberries don't invade it too terribly much. Here's the raspberry patch over here, and the runners go over there. I try to get them when they're in the path, like this one, so they don't get to the raspberry patch. Lots of calendula, and I'll let it come up. Amaranth that the Japanese beetles haven't gotten yet, and then I eat it. Yummy. I'd say I'm going to have raspberries by next week. And this is the second year I've had bark mulch on the raspberries. They seem to be doing pretty good. I didn't get all the old canes out. And so I will, like this yucky one right here. I got to get it out. Old wood. All the way to the ground. So I missed a few, so I'll do it soon. If they have raspberries on them, I'll first harvest the raspberries and then take it down. Like these here probably won't amount to much because it's old wood. But as soon as I harvest these, then I'm going to take the cane down. Can you see how woody it is? Otherwise, they're doing better than I've ever grown raspberries. So the bark mulch, I put worm castings in there, I put grass clippings, I put leaves, but a good layer of bark's in there. You see all my reseeds? I just pick them and eat them. This is the only place I have lavender right now. And the others died because I severely pruned it to the ground. So I only have this patch, and do you believe it is growing in one of the cinder block holes? Just one. I can't believe it. Oh, you are so pretty. I dry the flowers. I should be picking them probably in a day, and use it for tea and for infusing some oil. Certainly doesn't get as fragrant, the oil doesn't get as fragrant as when you use essential oil, but I have it, so I use it. Cilantro, going to seed. And flowers, I use in my salad. I eat it. Very, very good for you. Do I remember how good for you it is? Or what nutrients? Nope. You'll have to Google it. But it is very, very beneficial. Tomatoes, they're doing super. Oh boy, you've seen a lot of tomatoes on lots of people's videos. I'll be harvesting probably, I say, in about 10 days. Basil. Again, I put layers. I use lasagna method here. So I put layers of grass clippings right now and worm castings. And that's how I prepare my soil for getting better and better. I do not fertilize anymore. My Swiss chard. I have gone to using slug bait. We have been very wet. Yes, the tomatoes are very crowded in here. That is an old gazebo. So we're using as a trellis, and then my old concrete reinforcement wire that I made into tomato cages. Those are, I'd say, about 15 years old. Really well worth it. And not only 15 years old, but I got them from the dump that somebody dumped them, and they were older. So you who buy brand new, you're making a good investment. Japanese red mustard. Yummy. There is some parsley in there I've been harvesting, and then I started new parsley down in the bog garden. So here I have what? Brandywine, Amish paste. Brandywine is giving me some nice size right now. I'd say, well, a couple weeks yet, maybe 3. But I didn't start my tomatoes till March 13th, I think. So Brandywine, Amish paste, Chadwick cherry. Oh no, that other one was Big Beef. That's what that other one was. And this is Brandywine. Like you really care. And Celebrity and Juliet, 2 Juliets with peas growing up in there. So I really plant close. But I do try to rotate my crops. Tomatoes that are squished in here were in this garden last year. So the garlic has, I'd say, a couple weeks yet. Best garlic I ever grew. One variety is Music, and one variety is German Hardneck. Behind there, we'll walk behind. I have cucumbers on the right-hand side, only a couple, and then Vortex beans, pole beans on the other, growing up the chicken wire. Onions, they're okay. I started them from seed. And what kind of onions? A new one this year called Patterson. Supposed to be a good one for Wisconsin. And the other one is Red Wing, I think. They stored nice, the Red Wing. And I think that's why I bought Patterson. They're a yellow onion or yellowish white. And they're supposed to store good. A red lettuce, carrots. I have Purple Haze. Think of Prince. I like him, or liked him. I still like his music. And Sugar Smacks, I think the orange one is. This is where lavender was, a beautiful, you look at last year and the year before's videos, beautiful lavender in here. No more. So now I have calendula and my borage. Beautiful borage. More cilantro. I started some new plants down in the bog. I'm lucky that my honey eats all my salads I make, and I use the flowers, or I pick edible weeds, and he's just not too fond of bitter. And I'm trying to convince him that bitter is so good in our human diet. It's so good for us. So this makes it easy for picking for me. I can come on this side and pick the cukes and pick the beans, and it's doing okay. And I tied my garlic up so it didn't flop over. Can you see how I use string to keep it up? I tied it to the chicken wire, and then I have a pole halfway, a little stake, and then to the other chicken wire on the other side, and that way if I had to weed I can walk in there, and it kept it upright so it didn't snap it off. So let's see, over here we put peppers this year and some more peas, but I had Sugar Daddy up that trellis, and they were horrible. And they were a short variety. I didn't know, but it said that the pods were edible and sweet and that, and they were tough. Oh, I yanked the plants all out, and I had more plants down in the bog garden that had peas on them, and I would have had a nice harvest. So a couple of them I planted were my old Super Sugar Snap, and that was the best one. So live and learn. No more Sugar Daddy for me. I don't need a Sugar Daddy. Peppers. Wow, I gotta start those earlier. I didn't start them early enough this last year, and consequently they're not big. Holy basil. You know, I use a lot of holy basil every day. Tea for sure. Some celery. Not started early enough. One group of my 5 holes there of spearmint came back. Just enough for, you know what, you guys? What did I say last year? Mojito. Saturday night mojitos. Lost my sage officinalis it lasted about 5 years, so I bought one plant and then I seeded, let's see, 6 holes of it, because I use a lot of sage. I use it in tea, I use it for cooking, smudging, very versatile. Oh, making my toothpaste or tooth powder. Dill. I'm drying dill. I told you guys I'm drying dill. And I had dill over here with the carrots, and my companion article said, no, don't let the dill come up with your carrots. It attracts that carrot fly. So that I all pulled out. There was dill here. I won't go through all the peppers I have, but common ones. Broccoli's doing okay. We harvested one head, had it yesterday. You can see my cabbage worm is starting. I hand pick them. And I do eat the leaves because the leaves are as nutritious, if not more nutritious, than the flower head. More kale, and I started some more kale down in the bog, so we have a later group. More cucumbers. The 2 cucumbers I'm growing are Market More and Japanese long thin one. And you know, flowers in the garden. A lot of you are now putting flowers in your garden. It's good for it. A newer kale. No. Swiss chard. More Swiss chard. And more kale. Okay, flowers. I had leftover tomatoes. I went and put them over here. They were so root bound. So we'll see what they do. They can flop in with the comfrey, and comfrey's doing good. Had a picking already. Fleabane. You know I like fleabane. Bee balm. Okay. And then the exit or an entrance, whichever way you're coming, on the other end of the veggie garden area. Again with scarlet runner beans. Pretty. Let's see how much time I have. Oh, I only have about 4 minutes. What's new? What's new this week? Oh, Lillies. Not on her today. That is, wow. That is what I call that one. Wow. What is new? Grasses are starting to fill in. Somebody wanted to know how to make those sculptures. Those plates are just wedged in there. I forget who asked me. And then I use that glue 6000 or something. Glue and wire. I wire to the frame of the bicycle, and then what I don't wire, I glue. So that's pretty much it. I hope that answers your question. Now this time of the day, the Spiderwort is closing up, so the blue doesn't show so much in the garden. But oh, I saw Marnock. They're gonna love my yard this year because we have a lot of milkweed, or I've left a lot of milkweed in. So fragrant in the morning and in the evening. Lilies. I think that's new from last week. Miss Burma, I think that one was called. Oh, I know what. Oh, the butterflyweed is blooming today, or this week. Oh, such a durable plant, prairie plant. So pretty. Oh, what a, oh, that allium I wanted to show you. Drumstick allium. That's this one, in several places in the garden. Isn't that pretty? It'll get more burgundy. It's just starting to open. So very pretty. Very pretty. See what I mean by the spiderwort? It closes up with the heat of the day. Oh, look at me. That's the one I call that. Look at me. Let's see if I can zoom in on her. Isn't that a pretty one? You like it? Nadia, we need to deadhead, remember? Every day, but Lark doesn't do this every day anymore. Taking the spent flowers off and it'll keep blooming until a frost. That is a good perennial, good bang for your buck. Lady's mantle still looking good. It's hot here today. 80 for me is hot. I like it a little cooler. Stilby. That one's called Finale, I think. And doesn't it look pretty with the Lance Corporal? That's why I'm letting that spread. And we'll just pull out what we don't like. When I have time, yes, I do take flowers off my hostas. I like the foliage. Thank you, Katie, for visiting. Katie from Madison, and Ann and Jody. Thank you, thank you. It was fun meeting you. So, my gardening friends, I will end this video. And thank you very much for tuning in. And we'll have to do the bog garden another day. So take care. Isn't that pretty in there? Thank you for coming. And see you next week.